Alright guys, this is going to be a continuation of the last video. So at the end of the last video, we talked about all the different formulas for particle motion. Okay, so all we simply did was expand it really to the y component. Okay, it's very similar to what we did last year. Alright, so find the velocity vector when t equals 1. In this case, they're giving us the position, so I'm simply going to derive it. So we're going to get x prime of t. And then it's going to be 3t squared plus 8t, and then y prime of t is going to be the derivative, which is going to be 4t cubed minus 3t squared, and they want to know the velocity vector when t equals 1. So all I'm going to do is plug in the 1 for t. So x prime of 1, we're going to get 11, and then y prime of 1, we're going to get 1. So we'll get 11 comma 1 for the velocity vector. Acceleration vector would be the next derivative, so it's going to be x double prime of t, which is going to be 6t plus 8. And then y double prime of t, which is going to be 12t squared minus 6t. And then we're going to again plug it in at, in this case, 2. So x double prime of 2, which is going to be 20. And then y double prime of 2 is going to be 36. So we get 20, 36. All right, this one we've got particle moves, position, find the magnitude of the velocity. Okay, so as this is just an indirect way of asking you for the speed. This is asking for speed. Okay, we know the formula for speed is going to be square root, and then it's going to be x prime of t squared, and then plus y prime of t squared, like that. Okay. All right, so we've got x prime of t is 2t plus 3, and they want it at 1. So x prime of 1 is 5, and then y prime of t is going to be 3t squared minus 6t, and then y prime of 1 is equal to negative 3. So I'm going to go ahead and drop it into the formula up here. So we're going to get 25 plus 9 equals square root of 34. And that's our speed. All right, for number 3, a particle moves in the xy plane. X is given by root 3 minus 4 cosine of t, and y 1 minus 2 sine of t. The path of the particle intersects the x-axis twice. Okay, so we know that's when y is equal to 0. Write an expression that represents the distance traveled. Do not evaluate. Okay. So first and foremost, they're talking about an x-intercept. So x-intercept, we know that y is equal to 0. So I'm going to do 1 minus 2 sine of t equals 0. 1 equals 2 sine of t. Sine of t is a half. So we know t is equal to pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6. So at those two t values, it crosses the x-axis, okay? So we want the distance traveled between these two x-intercepts. So that's telling me these are going to be our bounds, okay? So we're going to integrate from pi over 6 to 5 pi over 6. And we know the distance is going to be the square root. So 4 sine of t. So I'm going to do, I didn't do that here yet. So x prime of t is equal to 4 sine of t. And then y prime of t is equal to negative 2 cosine of t. So I just simply divided the x component, the y component. And then we're going to plug this in. So we're going to get 4 sine of t squared, and then plus, and then negative 2 cosine of t squared. And don't forget the dt here. So it said to write it, but do not evaluate. Okay. All right, for number 4, we've got a particle moves xy plane, position, so they give us the position. Where's the particle at rest? Okay, so we know a particle is at rest when velocity equals 0. So really what has to happen here is x prime of t has to equal 0 and y prime of t has to equal 0. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and solve this. So we're going to get, so x prime of t is equal to 6t squared minus 30t plus 36. Take out a 6, and then I'm going to factor it. So t squared minus 5t plus 6. We're going to get t minus 2, t minus 3, so t equals 2 and t equals 3, okay? So that means the x, well, I should say that the particle stops in the x direction, so left or right at 2 separate times, at 2 and at 3, okay? All right, let's do y prime of t, which is equal to 3t squared, and then minus 6t, set that equal to 0, 3t, t minus 2, so we're going to get 3t is 0, t minus 2 is 0, so we get t equals 0, t equals 2. So the y component, so it stops going up and down at 0 and at 2. Okay, so the particle stops, so is at rest at t equals 2, because at 3, let's say for example, it's not moving left or right, but it is moving up and down, okay? And then at 0, it's not moving up or down, but it's moving left or right. So we have to find the time when they're both equal to 0. And then for 5, they want us to find the position. Okay, so we can simply do, they give us an initial, and we want to find it at 1. Okay, and this is our velocity vector. So this is my x prime, this is my y prime, okay? So we're going to say x of 1 is going to be equal to x of 0 plus 0 to 1, and then 3t squared minus 4t dt. Is that's one way to do it. That's to find the position at t equals 1. We work off of our initial condition, which at 0 it's at 7, and then we're going to integrate, and when you work all of this out, you're going to get it equal to 6. That's one way to do it. Or what you could do is x prime of t is 3t squared minus 4t. We could simply integrate. If we integrate, we're going to get 3t cubed over 3 minus 4t squared over 2 plus c. Okay, but we know that when t equals 0, x equals 7. So 7 and then 0. So we get c is equal to 7. I'll get my position function as 3t squared minus 4t plus 7. That's my position. And then if we want x of 1, we could just plug in like this. So 3 minus 4 plus 7, which is 6. Okay, either way is fine. I don't think one way is more efficient than the other. Either way you have to integrate, right? So same idea, okay? All right, and then we want the new y component. You're going to do the same thing. So we're going to say, I'm going to just do it like this one, okay? So if we want y of 1, it's going to be y of 0 plus 0 to 1. Now I'm going to put the y component on the inside. So 8t cubed plus 5 dt, okay? And then we know y of 0 is negative 4. integrate it, plug in the values, you should get 3, okay? So my position, position at t equals 1 is going to be 6, 3. All right, last question here. So this one is definitely a calculator question. I believe this is actually an AP question. I think I just typed it up. So again, very common is to give you, this is the velocity, okay? This is the derivative. So dx dt, dy dt. So if they ask you for acceleration, we're only going to derive it once. You put this in your calculator. You can absolutely put this in your calculator. So you're just gonna go to math, hit 8. It's gonna be, you could just do dx, plug in the sign of x cubed into that, and then it's gonna ask you for at what value down here. So you're simply plugging that into the calculator. So you're gonna use math, and then hit 8, and then you should get your d like that, okay? And then you're just gonna plug it in. Okay, so when you do that, you're gonna get, that's your acceleration, because this is already the velocity. So you're gonna get negative 1.746, and then you're gonna come back and do the same exact thing for the y component, okay? And when you do that, you're gonna get 3.027, okay? Write an equation of the tangent line at t equals 2. So we need dy dx, and we need it at 2, okay? So again, this is already so it's dy dt over dx dt, and we're doing it at t equals 2, okay? So we're really simply going to do cosine of 4. I'm just plugging into what they give us, okay? Over sine of 8. And when you simplify that, you're going to get point. I had 661. I think in class we came up with, negative, but 0.660. But I think either are fine, okay? And the point here is 1, 4. So we're using the coordinate 1, 4. So this could be y minus 4 equals negative 0.661 x minus 1. Equation of the tangent line. Find the speed. Again, is calculator. Just put everything into your calculator. So we've got sine of 8 squared, and then cosine of 4 squared, which is about 1.186. And the last one is find the position. So we're gonna, they gave us an initial condition, which was at 2. The position is 1, 4. Okay, so that's in. All right, so the position for the x component, so we're going to say at t equals 1. And again, this was given. This is, so we've got x of 1 is going to be, so it's x of 2 plus 2 to 1, and then x prime on the inside. So sine of t cubed dt. As you can use your calculator for all of this, I believe you get, you can double check my math here, about 0.782. Okay, because again, they gave us the initial condition at t equals 2, x is 1, so this becomes a 1, and then we're going from 2 to 1. And then for the y component, we're going to do y prime of t, well, we want y prime of t is equal to cosine of t squared. So we want y of 1, which is going to be this one. So it's y of 2 plus 2 to 1 cosine of t squared dt. This is your 4. And then you're just going to plug it in your calculator. So you don't have to worry about changing your bounds here. Yes, I know we're going from 2 to 1, but you're just going to put it in the calculator, so it won't be a problem. So y1 would be 4.443. So the position at t equals 1 is equal to 0.782 and then 4.443. All right, you guys, that's it for this video. That's it for parametric, okay? Pretty much from here on out, we're going to work on the FRQs. Okay, you're going to find them pretty easy. They're mostly calculator, and then once we complete this, we're going to jump into polar. All right, you guys, hope this video helped. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye.